Hello guys, it's day 12 of the 60 Paisa program, the 60-day program on Amazon by Indian Seller Academy. I am Dave and I welcome you to day 12 where we are going to talk about brand name and its importance. Now it's a very easy topic, right? Again, the whole idea being coming up with your brand name. Sounds very simple, right? But again, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. I'm going to cover a lot of details and it also plays a very important role in the long-term future and vision of your brand as well. So make sure you follow till the end. Also, there are a few links in the description that I've shared that will also help you in few things that I will talk about towards the end of the video. Okay, so talking about brand, right? First of all, the most important thing that you have to identify is what does your brand stand for, right? What is the heart of the brand, right? Few things that you have to keep in mind here is purpose. Why do you exist, right? Why do you exist? As in, what is your end goal? What do you want to achieve? Vision, what are your future goals, right? 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? What is your plan? How do you want to expand? Mission is what do you do, right? What are the type of products that you sell? What is the service that you provide, right? Something like that. And values are core principles, right? So let's say, do you want to promote something like the helping India, or do you want to promote something like health is wealth? Do you want to promote something like abolish child labor or spread education? So again, depending upon all these four, your brand name should basically speak about these four qualities or these four aspects of your brand, right? The purpose, the vision, the mission, and the values, right? So keep in mind whenever you come up with your brand name that you have something like this. When I say Indian Seller Academy, I mean, okay, it's a academy for sellers where it's mostly suited for Indian marketplaces, right? So that's what my idea was behind Indian Seller Academy. So it tells you about, it gives you some idea about the kind of business that we are there, but that we are dealing with. Okay, now in terms of brand name or do's of brand name, we have do's and don'ts both. I'll cover the do's first, and you have to think it from a long-term perspective goal, right? Again, do not think, okay, when I say long-term, think about the products that you're going to launch uh, in the next 4 or 5 years, right? Let's say you're starting with a fitness product, right? But that does not mean you name your brand something like bodybuilding or weightlifting or something around those niche. You can keep it generic, and then you can, instead of going with fitness products only, you can also launch a home and kitchen in your other products. So choose a generic brand name which will suit to various niches, right? If you choose something which is very particular, I'm not saying that is wrong. It completely suits to some products, but again, if you are not specific about the product that you are going to sell, then it's better to choose a random brand name or a non-generic brand, generic brand name, something like Apple, something like Facebook, right? They do not mean any particular product as such, but now the brand has established and they are not inclined to any particular niche. But still, it's when you think about Facebook, nobody would have thought that it would be a social media platform. When you think of Apple, nobody would have thought that it's a tech gadget, right? So that's in terms of long-term thinking. Keep it meaningful. Again, when we spoke about when we spoke about generic brand names, it might not be a lot meaningful, but for certain products you do want to add meaning to it as well, right? Like for example, something that you're consuming, right? For example, if you have heard of brand Satviko, right? They sell Satvik products. So that's a very classic example of a brand name which means the type of products that it sells. So they sell Satvik products. These are superfoods, and Satviko is the brand name. So very very relevant to the brand name itself. Keep it unique yet simple. Okay, when you say unique, and how do you keep it simple? I have a brand name on Amazon which is called Sindh in a jar, right? Now what does this mean? Sindh in a jar means basically in the jar they make these products which are handmade pickles, and they have their own manufacturing in it, or all those. So Sindh, because the products that they are making, they are manufactured or they have been produced in Sindh, and then they locally process it and ship it in a jar. So unique yet simple and easy to recall. It tells about the brand value, and it is meaningful as well. So you're selling products that are made in Sindh in a particular jar. Do not duplicate. Again, do not try to copy other brand names. Again, strict no from Amazon perspective. invest in a logo and tagline. That is very important. If you are not a very good graphic designer, you cannot design a logo yourself, do hire people from Fiverr and other freelancing websites who can create a very customized and specific logo. And again, tagline as well. Think that the tagline should have a recall value, right? So make sure that anything that you have, go across the big brands, right, and think about their taglines, and then you will understand the value of a tagline. A lot of people remember the tagline, but they forget the brand name itself. The Taste of India, Amul, right? So again, there are several examples and you can go across it, but that's about how tagline works. And then generate curiosity as well, right? Again, I'll give the example of Sindh in a jar. Although it means about Sindh, which is a place, and it talks about jar, but again, what is in the jar? Nobody knows that, right? So that is talking about generating curiosity. And there's so many examples. I'm just talking about Sindh in a jar because I know the person personally and I've interviewed them as well, so that's why I'm talking about Sindh in a jar. Okay, now don'ts of choosing a name. Okay, so do not choose a brand name which is very difficult to speak, right? Spelling or writing it is very difficult. Just to give you an example, and a lot of people will not know about it as well. Jeff Bezos wanted to name Amazon, or basically when he did not think, or when he did not come up with the name Amazon, he came up with a name called Kadabra, where the abracadabra that we say, Kadabra was the name that he was planning to give Amazon, but then someone mispronounced it, because again, it's not an easy name to pronounce, Kadabra, right? They mispronounced it or they misspelled it, and then he realized, okay, it's not going to be a name that they can use ahead. Copycat, again, normally people do not copy the exact same brand name, but they took ideas from it, right? Just for example, if you see iPhones, or basically Apple products, right? It starts with I. Every product from Apple, it starts with iPad, iPhone, right? So Mac is again different, but yeah, iPad and iPhone is still there, right? So make sure that you do not implement such a logic that, okay, all your products will start with an R, or all your products will start with an S. So that need not be the case, right? And do not be restrictive. Again, this is to the same point, like if you're selling the fitness niche today, that does not mean you will not be selling in the home and kitchen or other niches in future, right? So do not be so restrictive. Again, it works in some cases. For example, the Bombay Shaving Company, right? They're only dealing with shaving products. Okay, Mama Earth, it's again, they're dealing in like a lot of different hygiene and baby kind of products, so that works for them. But again, if you are just starting out and you're not sure which kind of product or which niche you're going in, it's better to choose a brand name which does not mean or incline to a particular category. Do not choose annoying brand name. When I say annoying, again, something that doesn't make much sense, you just come up with it. Like for example, you merge two words and then make it into one, or you take half of each words and then merge it into one, right? So let's say if global search is the your motto or your vision, it's a search engine and you can create global searches, then you cannot do glow and something like urge, right? Glow, I'm not sure even how to pronounce it, and that's why it sounds annoying as well. Course of knowledge is again very particular, and you will find it with restaurants a lot of times, right? So you as a brand owner might know about a particular piece of information, but your customers might not be aware of it, right? So bonjour in France, in French, might mean hi, or something like that, but a lot of people would not know bonjour, what it means, right? A lot of restaurants I've seen, they have it like names from Italian restaurants, or they have French names, they have Spanish names, and it's difficult to pronounce, and also nobody knows the name or the meaning behind it, which makes it even more difficult to relate, right? So be very simple. As long as you have a very simple brand name, a short brand name, you are done, right? You do not have to choose something very complicated that people cannot remember. And again, as I mentioned, hard to pronounce, right? So never choose a name which is very hard to pronounce. Never choose a name which is too long for people to remember and pronounce it. So these are the don'ts. Okay, now you can always explore name generators. These are certain websites, and there are many. This is just a list that I remember, and I knew that these are really good ones. most common ones are business name generator, Shopify, and name mesh. Shopify is a e-commerce hosting platform, but you will also have Shopify business name generator, where they also help you with different names. Name mesh is very popular. It tells you also the SEO from an SEO perspective which ones are better ones, and business name generator is also very good. Other than that, you can also try WordLab, NameStation, and DomainR. There are many, but again, these are my preferences. Now, in terms of availability, whether the brand name is available or something that you can go ahead with, definitely make sure that you have this checklist and you check each of these points. First of all, go to a domain hosting platform like GoDaddy or Bluehost, HostGator, and something like that. Not a hosting, but a domain website. Sorry, HostGator is a hosting website. But go to a domain website where you can buy domains and then check if your domain, right? Let's say, for example, your brand is XYZ, www.xyz.in or www.xyz.com. Check if these domain names are available. If they are not available, again, you cannot go with that brand name. You can go in Amazon, but again, when you're trying to scale up and you're planning to have your own e-commerce website, then you will have troubles. Okay, check whether the social media accounts for the brand name that you're choosing, they are available, right? You can just do a Google search and check if for your brand name, are you getting pages on Facebook, Instagram? If you're getting pages on Instagram and Facebook and they're very popular, it's best to avoid those brand names. Because again, because those brand names are already popular and people relate to those brand names by their relation or niche, right? So never go with brand names which are already established and are being owned by someone else, even though they are not registered or trademarked. Google search, I can do a pretty just Google search of your shortlisted brand names and then check if any of the brand names have a site on Google Business, right? A lot of people, they create a business website on Google, they host it on Google, and then that is also one thing that you would like to check. The other thing is trademark search, which is again you go to the trademark website of India, which is IP India Online, and then you check if a particular brand is registered, has a trademark already. And I will also show you in the screen as well as to how you can go to that website and check if a particular brand is trademarked or not. And then last but not the least, make sure that you also check for Amazon if the brand name is existing on Amazon. Now here, when I say Amazon, it does not mean just Amazon India. You might be selling globally 1 year from the line or 1 year down the line, right? So make sure you check in Amazon.in, Amazon.com, Amazon.co.uk, and at least the most common marketplaces, go and check if the brand name is unutilized. So make sure that happens as well. Okay, and in last but not the least, again, make sure that you go through Amazon brand name policy as well. I will cover that in a share as well. But what I want to make sure is Amazon also has certain regulations and some certain error messages that come up when you are using a brand name, right? So there are error codes like 5461, 5464, and 5665. So these different error messages come with brand names, and you have to give some proof that the brand belongs to you. So while while putting your brand name on Amazon, you can have these error issues, and that's where you have to follow the Amazon brand name policy. And other thing that I mentioned was from our yesterday's lesson in terms of business registration. So there are three names here, yeah? The business name, the brand name, and the store name. Business name is the legal name, XYZ Enterprises, and so on and so forth. Brand name could be XYZ, and store name is basically your store name on Amazon. It's like your landing page. Now if you're having two brands on Amazon with the same account, right? Let's say you have XYZ and your ABC. XYZ is in fitness category, ABC is in home and kitchen, or let's say baby products. Then what you want to do is you cannot have XYZ as a store name, otherwise the ABC products would go weak. So what you have to do is you have to choose brand names which are particular to particular niche, but then the store name should be very generic, something like home products, or general use case products, something like that. Home Shop 18, like they have it, right? So basically their products are across different categories. So that is something that you can think of if you are planning to have multiple brands with the same Amazon account. Okay, now I'll quickly switch screens and share with you the trademark website as well as the Amazon India policy, which I wanted to cover very quick. Okay, so this is the Amazon brand name policy, and I'll share the link down below in the description. Again, it talks about some of the rules and the error messages that you have with brand names. So 5661, 5664 and 5665, something that I spoke about. And in most of these cases you will have to provide images which has your brand affixed on the packaging, right? So you will have to provide some product images which has the brand name package, the brand name on the packaging itself. And once you provide that, Amazon will take a few review processes, and after a couple of days your brand will be approved. Again, what is considered a brand on Amazon, what is not considered a brand on Amazon, do go through it. It's pretty straightforward generic stuff that we all know about, but again, good to go through this. And there are certain Q&A question, frequently asked questions as well, which you can go about. Again, if you need to have a UPC, which is like a universal product code, and other, what does affixing your brand on your product packaging mean? So all these questions you can definitely go and read about it. Coming next is the Trademark India website, where you can, again, I'll share the link in the description. What you have to do is you just have to search for the brand and then specify the class. You can think of a class as a particular category, but it's slightly different from category. So here, in case I'm searching for Bata, and this is in footwear category, right? So now that I search for it, you will see that okay, I have Bata Cushion Air, Bata Console, Bata Long Life, Bata Shoes, and there are so many as well. So again, if you see, Bata Shoes has a class name of 31 and it is registered. So again, it does not mean if you have Bata Long Life whether you cannot register, because Bata is already there. As long as your core business is different, you can still have it. But I guess in this particular case, these are all subsidiaries of Bata itself. So, but again, if the pronunciation is same, but you're selling in different type of categories, let's say you're selling Bata food products, then you can completely do that. Bata is only registered in the footwear industry. So you can completely do that, right? In terms of class, as I mentioned, you can check the list of classes. So I guess it's a bit, yes, it should now be visible. So basically class 2 is paints, varnishes, and I'll go with the most common ones, which is household or kitchen items, which is class 21. And you have bag 26, which is the buttons and artificial flowers and lace and embroidery, I guess. This one is very common, which is class 27. You have food products in 29 and 2030, and again, alcohol is but you can definitely go through this, and these are in terms of products, and down below you will have services as well. Again, in case you're not you cannot get an idea of the product and the class relevant here, what you can do is you can just go to this website, TM class, which is again, I'll share the link in the description. You can just search for names, and let's say I search for mobile holder and I click here, and then it will tell me which particular class it falls into. Okay, I'm not sure if that gives, so basically mobile holders come into class 9. Now if I go into class 9 here, it says okay, scientific, nautical, serving, electronic, photography, some kind of machines or instruments, right? So it talks about instrument equipments as well. So again, as I mentioned, a lot of times these description might not be relevant, so you can always go back to this particular website and check how it translates to, in which class does it translate to. So that's all for this particular video, and again, do let me know in comments in case you have any particular question related to Amazon or in general brand name, how you can come up with a brand name, how you can find good designers for your brand logo, and how can you think about good taglines that you can that can be retained as a customer perspective. Now again, going back before we complete the video, the code for D12 is IAC326, and you will find the Instagram post. Today's task would be very interesting about brand names itself, so make sure you comment task on the Instagram post. A DM message will be sent to you wherein you will have the task details. Make sure you complete the task. It will definitely help you get much more clarity about brand names. Okay, that being said, I will say goodbye for now, and we will see you again tomorrow at 10 p.m. on YouTube, where we will talk about fulfillment by Amazon. So tomorrow is day 13, where we are going to talk about fulfillment by Amazon and how you can get registered for FBA and how FBA works all together. That's all for now. Signing off. Bye bye guys. Have a good day.